Oh, hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ, and I hate re-recording videos because, yeah, but, this one's necessary. So, I want to talk about the Vahki. For example, here I have, Bordak. The names are weird. I mean, Bordak, was he boring? No, he's not that boring. Oh, well, okay. The Vahki do in some ways look a bit basic, a little bland, a little boring, a little passe. Well, not passe, but you know. I mean, they got kind of a muted color palette here. It's mostly their main color, which for in this case is Metro Blue. All right, and then you got the dark gray. And then on top of that, you have the silver weapons. You have the silver, disc shooting mandibles, and even, well, obviously there's some black parts. There's some light gray parts like the gears, and well, finally there's the light piping for their eyes, which is a massive piece, and he looks very menacing. He's going to bite you now. Yeah, the whole. I struggle to I guess argue that or with the idea that 2004's color palette and 2005 as well, but 2004 for the sake of its anniversary. That the color palettes in 2004 were meant to be this, dark and sinister and whatnot, and there were some other colors that had some vibrance as well. But here with the Vahki, they're robots. They're not supposed to be, overtly brightly colored with funness and whatnot. These guys are meant to look, just kind of boring, lame. To me, the Vahki aren't actually that bad. People believe apparently that the Vahki were the first bad Bionicle sets, the first bad villain sets. These are massable sets, though. If you have an army of Vahki in your backyard, take a picture and post it on something. I don't know. But the Vahki, I mean, I actually like the Vahki, I feel like they're kind of a lesser Rakshi in a way. They definitely have some aspects that kind of call back to the Rakshi, even though that was just the previous year. Like the gear function, they do this. You have both their arms like this, and hell, they even took the Rakshi lower torso region area. That's when they, I feel like creativity was at an all-time, well, not all-time low, but there's definitely a bit of a lacking in originality there. They could have come up with an original box right there instead of, piggybacking off of the Rakshi design. But nope, they had to reuse the piece multiple times. Yeah, well, they also used the Matoran torso piece right there, and obviously the sockets. The Mata torso, or the Mata arm piece, classic arm piece. This has been used pretty much throughout the entirety of G1. This was a piece that never died. It was great. It was multiple colors, so many uses. You can do anything with this piece. It's awesome. The crotch area, I say crotch, but that's just the lower region area. He doesn't have a penis or anything like that. This was a piece that got reused so many times. It was a legendary piece for, yeah. The leg piece, this was introduced in 2004. with the Toa Metru, for example, the Vahki legs, as we call them, the lower legs. These are great. Their design is interesting. The Toa Mata feet came back in dark gray, which is pretty cool. But I mean, really, and maybe it's just me, but the color palette of these Vahki seems just a little bit muddied down, a little bit watery. It feels a bit one-dimensional in a way, you know. So and maybe that was the intention, because they're robots. They, you know, they are robots, but they were meant to keep the peace and uphold the law in Metru Nui. I mean, if you look at the Vahki animations by Templar, those were great animations. The Vahki were doing, they were interesting, you know. They were shown in those animations, and kind of set the scene, set the tone, the vibe for 2004 for Metru Nui, you know. And then in the movie, they were just kind of lame, you know. Yes, they were still robots in the movie, and they spoke Matoran so fucking fast, it was ridiculous. But in some sort of robotic language, you know, it was like weird. One of the most unique pieces is this torso piece right there. And it's kind of interesting. It has its uses. It has its limitations, though, unfortunately. Nobody even bothers to use this polypropylene eye stalk piece, which, look at the front of his head. Look at his head directly. Look into his eyes. He will eat your soul. No. It just looks kind of alien and weird and weird. That's all I have to say about that. But I mean, the weapons. Look at the weapons. These weapons are fucking awesome. These are my favorite Vahki tools. Not based on powers or anything, you know, but the just the look of this thing. It looks like some sort of cybernetic razor sword thing. It's awesome. My second favorite is Kirak's saw swords looking thing. Those are cool. The only other Vahki I have built is Nurak, the red one, you know, from Toa Metru, whose tools look like some sort of fucking dental tool of some sort. Like, you go to the dentist and you see something like that there. It's like, okay. And, you know, talking about tools, obviously the Vorzak. Was it Vorzak? Yeah, Vorzak, the Metru one. The weapon, the back end of it was like a hook type thing, and the front end was like some sort of scissors or shears or whatever. And Vorzak, his was like some kind of jackhammery thing with a pseudo hook in the back. It was a very stylistically nice design, but it's not my favorite. And finally, obviously, Zadax. These names are just weird. But hey, that's Bionicle for you. I like Bionicle. I really do. But some of the names are just kind of ridiculous. But Zadak's weapon was kind of weird. It was two hooks. Okay, you got one hook at the back end, and then you got another pseudo hook, I guess, going more further in. It was a weird. The Vahki tools were weird based on design, but they had their quirks. They had their uses in terms of mock making, and make interesting mocks and other fun stuff with the tools of the Vahki. But at the same time, they have their limitations. And the Bordak's tools have been used ad nauseum. They really have. These started here in, well, they started in 2004, obviously, then in 2005, I think. Yeah, they were in 2005 because of the playsets, I think. And 2006 had them as well, 2007. And you know what? Even 2008, because of the vehicles. I don't think 2009 had this part. I think they finally phased this part out after 2008. And wow, what a length of time for this sword, for this weapon. And you know, another thing about the Vahki is that they are able to do a dual. They have a dual purpose thing. You know, they have a secondary mode. This is their bipedal mode. They're able to tread and just go along. But then they can do this and have like this spider mode. You know, it's pretty freaking cool actually. You just fold the legs, fold the arms forward this way, maneuver around, move the head as long as it doesn't get caught on anything, and there you go. I mean, yeah, it does look kind of weird and awkward, but hey, it's as if, thinking about it, the Vizirac were kind of, I don't think you can compare this to the Vizirac and expect to be taken seriously, but it seems like the designers of the Vizirac actually were inspired by the Vahki to some degree. Is that even possible? I don't know. But I don't know. This mode, at the time, obviously 20 years ago when it was released, it looked cool. It looked believable in a way. Thinking about it nowadays, 20 years later, it's like, could they have done something better? Probably not, but nowadays, obviously, the fans, the community, we've made better Vahki mocks. I myself haven't dared to go down the path of the Vahki mock making. I've used Vahki parts in mocks. I've even used the freaking light piping piece because nobody else does. It's a rarity. You'll see that used. I've used it like I attached to the back of a mock, of a Titan mock, you know, with the 5-pin holes. Just put some pins in there and stick it on its back, and then you have these things behind its head, and it's like, that's a good use, but again, this piece has its limitations. It has its limited use, and that's unfortunate, but hey. But this crawling mode, the spider mode, is pretty cool. Again, you can do this. You know? Like I said, the Vizirac were probably inspired by the Vahki in a way. But obviously expanded upon and made their own design, but more vibrant colors, obviously. See, I think the Vizirac definitely were a better enemy than the Vahki. The Vahki, they can short circuit. They have their problems. They can short circuit. They can, be, destroyed. They can lose a limb or whatever. The Vizirac, obviously they were organic. They were cretins. They had these pincers, these big freaking pincers. Like, they can create webs out of their anus, and they can, spin webs. They can make weird, nightmarish sounds out of their mouths. They can cocoon you. They can, mutate you. Obviously, there was definitely some stuff to love about the Vizirac. Even though some of the box art, canister art for a couple of them was like swapped around for some reason from the prototypes. I don't know. I even made a comment about that to someone at Walmart, and it was like, I'm sorry about that. I don't know. That was 20 years ago, or 19. But yeah, the Vahki they're not the worst Bionicle sets of all time. They were an honorable mention on my list, and in fact, there was a set I forgot to put at the number 1 spot with Kreka, and that was Pohatu Fantoka. You probably know why. But yeah, to transform the Vahki back, you just do this. So yeah, you can shoot the the disc out of its head, that is a unique feature. The ability to transform it into spider mode, which is a unique feature. The gear function, again, it feels like they were piggybacking off of the Rockshi design. You know, they even used a Rockshi piece. So they couldn't even get creative with a brand new mold, with a brand new box thing, a gearbox thing to put there. They just had to reuse assets, reuse old molds, because that's a thing Lego does. But hey, it's not bad, honestly. It's not terrible. The Vahki, while they were somewhat boring after the Vahki animations, the Vahki animations were great. In the movie, they really weren't that great. In the books, obviously, they didn't really do anything. They can't talk. They can't tell you anything. They can only, you know, put you back to work, I guess. That's their job, is their, you know, keep the peace, uphold the law, make sure all of Matoran work and do their job, and, you know, so that was the thing. So the Vahki, I feel like, get snubbed a little bit, because the Vahki definitely, is it appropriate to say that there's charm to the Vahki? I think they have a bit of a charm to them, you know, in their own unique right. The head design, while being big and massive and alien-like, it's definitely cool, you know, it's definitely interesting. It's unique, and even if the rest of the build is just kind of, you know, parts thrown together to make some kind of toy for the kids, you know. And, you know, at one time I had all 6 of the Vahki, and I enjoyed looking at them and playing around with the dual function, you know. It's just fun. Sometimes you gotta line things up, though. And these things were like $10 a piece, I think. They were like $10 for each. Yeah, $10. $10 for a single Vahki, a single unit. And if you were to make an army of Vahki, you're gonna spend like hundreds of dollars to get, for example, like 100 Vahki. If you want 100 Bordak, you better hope that they actually have 100 Bordak available for you, because otherwise, you know, you're gonna have to cancel those plans and not have an army of Vahki. The Vahki are interesting. They definitely had something unique, you know. There was definitely something to love about these things, but I mean, I don't know. I struggle to believe that these are one of the worst, if not the worst, massable enemies, because they're not the worst. They're actually solid sets. They have a play value that is valuable. You know, they're worth purchasing. They're worth collecting for the collection. If you're a completionist, get all 6 of the Vahki, have them lined up on the shelf, alternate them between, you know, the spider mode and this mode, and just go to town. Or, if you want to take it to the next level, build the 2 combination models. 3 of them, including, you know, Bordak here, make this Vahki spider-looking thing. It's pretty cool. And the other 3 make some weird golem-esque thing. I don't know. But, and I think those were both Rahi. I don't know. Combination models are cool. I might have a separate video on those. But, yeah, the Vahki are cool. I like them. But it's just, I only like them to a certain extent. And at the same time, you know, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to say no to the Vahki. I feel like the Vahki have their own special, you know, place in the Bionicle universe. They have definitely have a place on my shelves. They're great. They really are. They're not bad sets. They're just kind of overlooked and sort of underappreciated, if you will. And you know, if you've seen the prototypes of the Vahki, those aren't as good as, you know, what we got here. These are great. At the time, you know, 20 years ago, these were on the shelves, and they even had unique canisters too. You know, the transparent, I guess translucent, whatever the hell, the canister lid would basically be the color of their eye stalk piece, which is another unique facet about the Vahki sets, at least. But yeah. Anyway, this video is too long, so I implore you to argue against the Vahki or argue for the Vahki in the comment section below. What do you think about the Vahki? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they shit? Are they fun? Are they awesome? Are they dull? Dull is probably a word to be said about the Vahki, but I don't really... I just don't want to say anything like that about the Vahki. I don't think they're that dull, even though it might be true. I mean, they might be seen as simplistic looking sets. And that's because they were $10 sets. They were $10, you know, little massable characters. So there's something to love about the Vahki. They're great sets. They really are. So there you go. Sorry this video was fairly long, but I felt like I had to. I had a lot to say about this because I like the Vahki. I really do. I just hate when people sort of trash talk the Vahki, and you know, maybe for good reason they trash talk them, but at the same time, it's Bionicle. It's still Bionicle. It's still our childhood. It's something we cherish, you know, as Bionicle fans. I cherish the Vahki. So, if you cherish the Vahki, you earn my respect. If you don't cherish the Vahki, yeah. So, yeah. So, I hope you all enjoyed this here video, and let me know what you think about the Vahki in the comment section below. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you wish they were better? Make your own Vahki in the using parts from the Vahki. Like, I don't know. There's a lot that you can do with the parts from the Vahki, and they haven't reached their full potential. They probably never will, because they are what they are. It is what it is. So stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks every fucking day, and peace.